You are about to watch some competitive Team Fortress 2 here on SalTV. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a game that's been casted before. It happened last week, so if you want to see the original cast, I will link you to both of the casts that happened. Because this is an important game here, ladies and gents. This one is for all the marbles. That's right, this is the grand finals of the ETF2L Season 14 between Broder and Epsilon. It's 6v6. It's pretty awesome time. I gotta tell you, 2 scouts, 2 soldiers, demo man, medic on each team. Going to be a fantastic game here. And I guess I better turn on my little outline so you can see exactly where everybody is. This is CP Process. It's a competitive focused map. Very 5 CP if you haven't seen it before, but we are going to go ahead and see exactly what happens when you see here as Tech starting things off, trying to get the kill on the enemy med. Looks like, no, the med is not down. Nox is still alive, so he did not manage to make that bomb work effectively. Might have gotten 1 kill. But meanwhile, we've got Epsilon losing a couple players here. Broder trying their best to keep things in. They've actually popped a crits, which is pretty insane, starting the game out with a crits right off the bat. Didn't actually manage to get a heck of a lot done there, but you see Nox here has had to retreat pretty far. Now, when the rest of his team respawns here, Epsilon, they will be able to defend the second point, but they did lose mid. Just lost too many players there, and if they had tried to stay in against the crits, it just wouldn't have worked. Now they've got the Uber, now they can sit back on this second point, and they'll be fine. So, if you're wondering what they're fighting for, well, this season of ETF2L, there actually is some prize money. And since basically this is first versus second place, whoever, wins or loses this best of 3 series, I'm not going to cast the whole thing, I'm just going to cast this one, but whoever wins or loses the series is going to end up winning something like 400 euros for the team. Here comes the Uber just now. Looks like Broder fairly well prepared for this in the blue, so they are retreating pretty effectively. This scout just using so much airtime. He's like the Michael Jordan of scouts. Somehow did not manage to die there, so that's looking pretty good. But the crit's coming right back in right away. Numlock down. That's going to be a beautiful kill for Rib here, because taking down the enemy demo means a lot of damage is off the field. And where is Nox? That's the only question now. What the heck was that green thing? Oh, it's an unusual effect. Okay, yeah, a little weird. No, Nox trying to get away, retreating with the crossbow out. He's not going to be able to build up another Uber anytime soon. Numlock, however, is going to catch up with him fairly shortly here and try to keep him defended. It's like they know where each other is. Uh-oh, scout in. And once again, it is Michael Jordan, our red scout, not going to die to anything on the ground. He is just furiously floating in midair. Where is this guy? It's not Cookie, it's the other one. I think it's Walters. No, Bibbin. Sorry. Walters is definitely not scout on this team. He's a scout on Epsilon. My bad. So, you're seeing kind of the gameplay right now. Let's zoom out a little bit here. You're seeing, because it's getting a little freaky. You're seeing the gameplay here on TV Process. This is the second point. You got blue team wanting to push in towards red, but look what happens with red here. They are sitting so far back right now. They know their opponents are going to have a slight advantage, so they are waiting for the blue team to make a mistake, try to push in here. They're going to have to push in through a bunch of rockets, and once they do, they will be just a little bit hurt. They are probably going to pop an Uber in to try and take this point, but red team is so prepared for this. They're just going to drop right back away from that Uber. They know they can't deal any damage while the enemies are invulnerable. So here it goes. They're actually trying to take a lot of space here on the blue team without popping that Uber. The longer, they can go without popping it, the better it is. Interestingly, Miralyn actually on the regular Uber now, so no, it's not a crits creek. They're going to go ahead and use this Uber to hold the point. I did not realize that Miralyn had switched off, but apparently had. And now Mitzi dropping back, just barely caught and saved there by his med. That's some beautiful med work to keep the soldier alive for just a little bit longer. Mike not going for that air shot, or not hitting it anyway. So, sorry, Mike. I'm sure we'll find an air shot from you eventually, but it's not that one. People do claim Mike is one of the best 1v1 soldiers in the world. They say that last time around at I-46, he actually beat Tyler, although I'm not entirely sure that's true. I think they might not have even played against each other. But he might have actually beat Tyler, one of America's best soldiers, in MGE. So, MGE being the 1v1 mod. Anyway, by the way, the reason I'm casting this is really to try and draw some attention to a particular thing going on. It is the I-49 fundraiser. So I-46 was last year, the Insomnia series of lands in England. And I went, and it was awesome, and we're going to get that documentary pushed out eventually definitely before I-49. You will have time to watch it before the next big thing. But there is there's a sniper going on right now, and there's a lot of defense here by Broder. But there is a fundraiser going on right now to get an American team to I-49. And not only is it going to be an American team going this time around, but there will be an Australian team going too, we hope. So we will really, truly have, like, the global land. Nice shot by Cookie, taking down one player. The Ubers are out right now, and if that Heavy just sits there on the point for a while, he should be able to keep it defended. Shockey's not going to be able to stop an invincible Heavy. So no, Broder is going to hold that off quite nicely. We've got Numlock, Mitzi, and Nox left, and they're probably, they're all backing up. So there is going to be no back cap attempt at the moment. Red team trying to just get in here. And I'm not sure I like this move by Blue. They are going to try and deal a little bit of damage. They actually are stopping the push for the moment, but Nox is in a really bad position here. If just one soldier or something jumps up towards him, actually, he'll die. So, Tech, good try. Interesting that Epsilon really played gutsy there. They kept Nox in. They kept all their players when it was only like 3 against 5, and they held that point. Now they are prepared to push back in. This is some aggressive stuff. It is an off-Uber push. They know that their opponents are going to get the Uber pretty soon, and it's going to be a lot harder to take things. So they're trying to push now, but it's just too late. And Nox, this time around, I really think he has stayed in for too long. He's gone down. Numlock, the only one left in this fight now, as Mike has died to Cookie. And Numlock, I don't know what you're doing there, but apparently it was not anything useful. So Broder going to go ahead and cap their second point. They're not in danger of losing this round anymore, and that's got to feel pretty good for them. Do recall, if you didn't know, I guess, Epsilon is pretty much the best team in Europe. And I gotta say that last year at I-46, last summer, they kind of got crushed by the Americans. It was pretty humiliating. I don't know, maybe they weren't humiliated, maybe they're just like, yeah, whatever, it's just TF2. But definitely a lot of Europeans' hopes were dashed. So hopefully they do, like they're still like basically the best team in Europe. And I think they've gotten a lot better. They're probably going to take I-49 a lot more seriously than they ever took I-46, which means they're going to practice a lot more for it. They are going to be prepared for the American teams. Going to watch their play styles, and so Epsilon basically the dominant beast in Europe right now. Remember, this is a best of 3. I'm not going to cast all 3 of the maps. I don't have time, but I will cast this one because Broder is kind of seen as like the plucky underdog in this scenario, and Cookie coming back in. So nice play by Broder. Actually, Mike really wasn't in position to defend against 5 people. Anyway, so that was just a good push by Broder all around. They got a lot of kills, putting them in 1-0. Go ahead and open the scoreboard for a little bit. Yeah, 1-0. So yeah, it's basically the underdog here, Broder, who are very, very good players. Most of them very experienced. In fact, all of them. The only player I don't recognize on that team is Tech, and he might be aliasing. But everybody else I recognize. Long time European TF2 masters on Broder. So they're trying to challenge Epsilon here for the title in season 14. And it looks like Epsilon, once again, backing out. They've lost too many players, including a scout and a soldier. That's Walters and Mike down. Shocky feeling just a little bit hurt here, 102 health. He's got to be careful. And he is going to go ahead and back up. Does not want to die along with the rest of his team out there. So interesting. Broder really taking this to Epsilon. Epsilon did not have the Uber in time to stop that. So now we're going to kind of see from the perspective of Team Epsilon here on defense. They've got this bunker upstairs. They've got a lot of enemies preparing to walk in. You kind of see them out there. Well, out there means they're really standing sort of on top of the point at the moment. We've got one scout standing upstairs on top of that little thing up there. One guy in the lobby, it was just Tech. He suicided in, trying to get a kill, trying to get an Uber force or something, and it didn't work. So we are going to see Epsilon maybe take a little bit of ground here in the lobby, but they've got to watch out for back caps. It is so scary right now. The thing is, if they're sitting here, they should be okay. They've got one player kind of watching, the back side of things. They've taken just a little bit too much damage, a little bit too much time to get anything accomplished, so they are going to back up. It's a wise choice. They're going to see, they're going to let their opponents try and push in themselves, because this is such a hard push to make. Here on CP Process, I think it's actually one of the toughest maps to push last. Defeated only by maybe like Gravel Pit and Cold Front, but Cold Front is not even in the rotation anymore as far as I know, which is a good thing. Mike coming way, way aggressive, which is tough to do for a heavy, because usually you don't get that close to people unless they want you to get that close. But no, Mike played a pretty good heavy right there, anticipating exactly when the enemies would rush in. He's doing it again. He's got to watch out for this sniper. He eats a no-scope shot there for 50 damage, but he'll get the heals right back on. It's just that if they lose this heavy for whatever... Oh, good shot there on Walters. Going to take down Tech. If they do lose this heavy, then they have lost a lot of HP and a lot of damage off the field. But I really do like that. And now we've got an Uber situation. Walters, once again, slicing people up with that sniper rifle. Shocky trying to help defend here, but really it's all about the rest of his team right now. Numlock getting 2 kills on that demo man. And now Broder, it's their turn to retreat furiously. Tech, though, in an interesting position. So you see what he's doing here. He's waiting in the IT room. The computer's there. It's where all your IT personnel hang out. He's kind of hoping somebody comes in so he can get the drop on him. Usually people will not be coming through here too much, or if they do, they'll be watching for him. But, interestingly, he might actually be able to just go for a back cap or walk straight back around here and find the med. Oh, it's going to be such easy shots. Not quite able to get the kill. Nox has 50 health, but nobody else is in position to follow that up. So that was an interesting attempt at a roaming roll by Tech, but with nobody able to follow things up, it's just it's going to be Epsilon back at full health medic. So Tech not able to accomplish that much. Still, look nice. Look nice. But Epsilon, they know how to play, and they've got to watch out for the enemy sniper right now. Walter's still... No, yeah, Walter's sniping, as is Cookie, so both of them have a sniper out right now. Cookie down, though, so it's just Walter's left on the sniper. Still, if you're playing with the sniper, you can't get all that aggressive into your enemy team, and it's going to be a problem here for Broder, as they are probably going to lose... Ooh... A scout getting popped up in the air. Probably going to lose this point. The Uber does get popped, and Mike is still standing here, capping the point while the rest of his team pushes forward. That was probably a good pop by Broder. They forced their... Oh, never mind. A forced pop out of Nox, which was good, but now they've had to pop their own Uber, and they're going to have a slight disadvantage unless they can cap this second point really quickly, and they have to do that. They've got Rib pushing out right now, laying some damage down, trying to on Nox anyway. He totally missed, though, and now he is dead, falling down to the ground. So it's going to be up to the rest of Broder to try and stop this, and they're not going to be able to. Epsilon pushing straight in. Shocky. Oh, he's gonna get the. He's gonna go anyway for the meat shots on Miralyn, taking him down, and that is pretty much gonna be the end of the round. Bibbin down, and it is Epsilon capping. Full glory to this guy right here. Shocky managed to make that last play on the point, but really the whole team Epsilon with a push on to second looks solid. Now let's see. We gotta watch these rollouts here. Sorry, where's my demo man? Come on. Okay, Numlocked making the classic Banny rollout, getting the. What do you call it? The slide off of that ramp. So he'll be looking pretty good. And already taking down Cookie. That's got to feel good for him. Landing that sticky just right. Going for the enemy med. And really, he doesn't have to kill the med. Here's the thing. Numlock just wants to deal some damage and force his opponents to be on their toes. A nice little pipe taking down Zebasai, so he does actually get a kill there, which is feeling pretty good. But at that point, really, his role was kind of just dealing damage. Now he feels like his role is going to be take a lot of ground really quickly, as the rest of his soldiers are doing that as well. They want to try and force the enemy med all the way back into spawn, because if they can do that, they're going to feel like a pretty solid team pushing into last. It is still going to be Uber versus Uber, 6 versus 6. There's no player deficit at the moment, but Epsilon has taken that second point, so they've forced Broder back into a very defensive position here. I kind of had a point about Numlock laying down a lot of damage. Right, so as a med, if you take a lot of damage in the mid-fight, you're kind of looking for health packs and getting really defensive, and that's not how you want to be. You want to be supporting your team by being aggressive, so you know, the more damage you take and the more damage the enemy demo puts on you, the tougher it is. Ubers are, of course, fading away right now. Broder with a decent defense here. They've only lost 1 player so far. Lost 2 now. Things are not looking that good, as Epsilon can start pushing in here with a big player advantage. 6v4, very difficult to face off against. They've still got that Heavy standing out here, though, so it could be the saving grace, but Miralyn down means that Heavy's not going to get any more heals. He is gone. Epsilon losing a couple players here, and is it going to be Broder defending this point? Maybe just barely. They gotta kill that demo man, and now they've... Oh, what a shot on the scout! So it is just Nox left alive, and is he going for the... He's going for the cap. He's going for the cap. Can he do it? No, the scout coming in, finishing him off. That's Cookie with the save. So Broder's going to go ahead and lay down a bunch of stickies on the point. That's Rib right here. One of the best demo men in the world. And that's going to be Broder recapping their second point after a very, very tough defense. Soldier trying to escape. That's going to be Mike, and it looks like he will actually escape. So Mike, too good to be killed at this moment. Where's Mike? Oh, Miralyn, interesting. Okay, he's on the crits once again. So respawning here, he's going to give himself a nice big advantage. Look at the Uber percentages over on that left-hand side. You see Miralyn with almost 70% Uber now, or crits, I should say. Nox at 20%. We have not seen Epsilon use the the crits Krieg yet. Pretty much this guy... I'm not even sure if he believes in the crits. You know, it's kind of like a ghost to him. He's like, yeah, whatever. You guys can believe in your, fairy stories all you want. But, oh, no, there's a crits coming in here. Ghosts are real. And, no, he just kind of has to back away now. So it's not going to be a huge deal for him as the crit's already over. He's going to take the rest of his team back in. Got about 60% building up towards that Uber. But he's got to be careful here, of course. He doesn't want to get flanked, destroyed by the enemy team. He gets popped up in the air. Where is he right now? 12 health left, and that is going to be a scout. Or was it a soldier finishing him off? No, I do think it was a scout. It is Cookie, actually, with a long-distance scattergun shot. So Broder feeling pretty good about that one. Epsilon, once again, losing their med, and that means that Miralyn still has a nice big advantage. Where's the blue team right now? They are hanging out on their second points. You can see their little silhouettes through here. This is such an awesome mod, by the way. Blue is still, like, the best person in the world. So anyway, Epsilon feeling kind of sad about this. Now, we are going to see another crits coming up pretty soon, and you see Broder with this overheal. It's because the medic, of course, following him around constantly. He wants to make sure that he uses this crits almost as soon as possible. Didn't use it. Oh, Walter's shutting the crits down, and Mike actually finds Tech in the hallway as well. So things are looking really good for Epsilon right now. This defense, just ambush after ambush, taking down everybody on Broder. Cookie's one of the only 2 left here, well, 3. And it's going to be Cookie, Bibbin, and Zebasai Cookie down to 32 health while Zebasai dies, actually getting SMG down by a sniper, which is pretty silly because that SMG, you know, that doesn't come out unless you're really desperate as a sniper. But apparently Walters was just like, yeah, whatever, bro, I got you. Nice easy kill. It's going to be Tech now on the sniper versus Walters. And Walters, I know, has a reputation as being a really awesome sniper. So we're going to see who actually wins that battle. Tech deciding not to face off square on down that that alleyway. Walters now has the alley covered nicely. And you can see the red silhouettes. We'll see whether Walters can see the red silhouettes too. Of course he can't. This is a spectator mod only, so there's going to be no wall hacks for these guys. Walters going for the scout headshot. Not going to happen. Miralyn down, though. Oh, we missed Shocky getting a nice kill on that med. Might have to go instant replay. All right. So we're going to watch the Shocky cam as the snipers are having their little battle right now, but Shocky sees he's actually got a lot of room here. Nobody's really watching him go in, so he's just like, oh, okay. Oh, the Uber comes down. That's what happens. So Uber the scout straight into the enemy med, and there you go. Miralyn down. Nice, easy Uber there for Epsilon, and they only wanted to accomplish one function, take down the enemy med, give themselves a nice Uber advantage. And now we see Broder in an interesting position. Looks like they are trying to put some aggression on here, but it's really just not working at all. They're going to have to retreat back into spawn. Shocky wants to get a kill here. Not going to happen. Meanwhile, Broder losing 2 more players here. It's only 2 left alive. You've got a soldier jumping out trying to stop this from happening. I don't think he's going to stop it, though. There you go. Epsilon up 2-1. Starting to look like the classic team we all know and love. Epsilon, so good. So good as a team. And really, that round, the like double or triple ambush by Epsilon when they knew there was a crits coming into them. So they had the sniper, they had the positioning. I mean, just everything went wrong for Broder there, and kind of shows you they really need to do a better job of keeping track of where their enemies are. Get some advanced information maybe. Well, we'll find out if Epsilon can keep that up, because I think Broder's going to be more on their toes this time around. Zebasai missing those rockets. Those are tough angles to hit, and it looks like Broder's losing 2 players. They may end up losing this mid-fight this time around. It's going to be, oh, knocks down to the shotgun of Zebasai right before, I'm sorry, he gets taken out by Mike with an epic air shot there. But Broder, I mean, who even wins this right now? Broder kind of does, because Miralyn has popped a crits, so he's going to have a crits advantage here. And this guy just can't stop running the crits, man. It's like heroin. He's just like, oh, man, just got to get my one more crits fix. No! And the heroin has killed him after all, but yeah, guys, don't do drugs. So Broder still going to hold mid. They're going to have their med come back up with a slight disadvantage. Probably, if I had to imagine, going to come up with a regular Uber instead of that crits. But we'll see. So far, not a lot of off-classing at the moment. We may have Shocky or Mitzi come back up as a sniper, but usually that is going to be the purview of Walters. So I don't think so. And Mitzi actually might be playing Pocket Soldier, so never mind about that one. Numlocked 8. A pretty big shot somehow. Maybe just hurting himself there. Yeah, so no off classes at all. It's all going to be standard. Broder holding mid, and they're holding pretty far back because once again, they know they've got that disadvantage. And yes, you see Miralyn on the regular minigun, not that crits. Boy, he's got some pretty crazy moves right now. Just watch his stutter step. Spamming that A and D key nonstop. That's how you got to do it, man. That's how you got to do it. Interesting push here. They are not going through the alley. It's going to be 3 players coming in straight through here. They've got the Uber ready to go, and they go ahead and pop that once again on the scout, trying to chase down the new med. They're not going to get that chase quite yet, but here, oh, Numlock jumps, tries to get the kill on the med, but is stopped in mid-air by some explosions, probably a rocket, a really nice rocket. Of course, it didn't do any damage to him, but it kept him from getting right on top of the enemy med, and that is what matters. Numlock now down, getting caught out there. Broder's Cookie is on the sniper at this point, and Cookie, again, a really good player. We've got a scout coming in through the tunnels, and Cookie doesn't realize that. He actually had his sniper rifle over him, but of course nobody's allowed to have wall hacks. But looks like that scout didn't do a heck of a lot of damage, and now Broder holding mid pretty effectively once again. So that was going to be Cookie and Bibbin both dealing damage to take down that scout. Shocky's gone. And at this point, it's Epsilon with 1 player deficit. It's not going to be the worst thing in the world, as they've only lost a scout. Sometimes you'll see teams in Europe waiting to push until they kill the demo. They're just like, no, killing a scout is not enough. Whereas in America, it tends to be a little bit more like, okay, we killed a scout, let's go. But Broder has lost tech as a result of trying to push here. Rib now down as well, and Cookie's down, so it's really just a couple players left alive. Miralyn with the needles out. Can he get the kill? He absolutely cannot, but he might be able to stay away. Just stay the level a little bit longer. Oh, no, Miralyn. Can he get the one more hit? He got it. Oh, my God. He got the kill with the Uber Saw just because he grabbed that tiny little health kit. And I think that the scout he killed there didn't realize there was a health kit out there for him. So now he's got the Uber all of a sudden because of those 2 Uber Saw hits. Managed to keep himself alive. That was a beautiful play by Miralyn, and I'm quite lucky to have caught it on camera because I had no clue that was going to happen. But wow. So already we are off to a pretty fantastic start in this game. Or a pretty fantastic kind of midway point. I don't know. We are going to have an Uber coming in from Broder pretty darn soon, though, as Mitzi's coming in trying to force this pop. Oh, my God, Meryl, what are you doing? Marilyn held onto that Uber for so long. He's still got 100%. Now he pops it, because now he thinks he's in a better position to do so. Holy crap, man. Like, if I were that med, I would have popped, like, 3 times in a row when that soldier was chasing me down. But it didn't happen. He was just like, nope, going to keep my cool. Anyway, now it is Epsilon's turn to have an Uber. They're going to probably try and ping-pong this and push it back through. It is going through the IT room. So Epsilon picking different ways to go every time, and they are going to Uber both a demo and a soldier through there. I'm sorry, a scout through there. It's interesting. Epsilon really likes to play this this Uber scout role, and it's working with Shocky so well because he's got such great aim and great positioning. He's able to get in and deal a lot of damage. Broder losing a couple, killing a couple though. The guy Zebasai up in the air. He is, you know, the longer you spend like suspended in the air like that, the easier it is to hit you, and that is going to be a problem for Epsilon. They're losing a couple players now. Broder. They could chase these two down, actually, and it might not be all that hard. There you go, Numlocked down to Rib, as Bibbin was taking all of his attention off of that demo man. So it's just Nox left, and he'll get the Uber probably in time to defend last year, because you do see Broder just now kind of catching up to the positioning they should be in. They've got the Uber charge ready to go. 50% on Epsilon. They might not have this, and you see they're kind of concerned about that. They are holding pretty far forward, trying to force their opponents back. Now, the last time I think I casted a European game on my channel, they didn't have any unlocks allowed. They've actually started to allow some. So they've got the gunboats, they've got the Boston Basher. They're starting to take the American unlocks and starting to use them, which is pretty darn cool in my opinion. The Uber does come out right now for Epsilon, trying to defend this, just as the Uber for Broder fades away. Bibbin and Marilyn both down, and there's not going to be a lot that Broder can really do about this. They're just going to have to back out. Numlock trying to lay down some damage. It's not going to happen. Not gonna happen, Broder. Sorry, that was a total wipeout there for Broder. They tried to push in, just were not able to get anything done. Nox actually did die somehow, so that was the one thing they did get done. They kept the Uber situation roughly even. Mike gonna go ahead and back up now. Is Mike using the gunboats? Yes, he is. Definitely using those gunboats. Pretty good feeling there to see a soldier who really likes to take that roaming role seriously. So we're going to watch Mike a little bit more. He did try to make sure his med was healing. That's, of course, one of the most important things you can do. Make sure you build the Uber constantly. But now let's watch the roaming soldier Mike and where he decides to go here. A lot of roamers in the American scene will do just crazy off-classing. Now Tech takes down Numlock. That's going to be a big deal, as Mike is basically just going to have to fall back. Well, he's got a choice. He can fall back and try and hold things down, which is what he's going to do. Beautiful jumps by Mike. Holy crap. So he will just go ahead and back up, keep with his med, and make sure that the med is safe. Crits. Oh, Crits coming in! Not able to get the kills just yet. Oh, it's too bad, but Mitzi down. Incoming Uber to try and counter this Crits, though, and stop the capture. Meanwhile, Broder is actually getting back capped right now. This Uber going to stop them from capping and potentially keep the back cap off. No, looks like Epsilon is going to lose Walters there, so Bibbin just barely staving off the recapture of the second. Oh, Tech. Going for the med shots, but not quite going to happen. Nonetheless, Broder, there's still an interesting position here. They could try to push this, and they've got a scout starting to lay down some pressure. No, Bibbin's down, as is Tech, as is Rib. Oh, Broder, you're losing so many players now. So you're going to see Marilyn really play this very far back. He and Zebasai are just going to kind of sit down and say, well, it's just you and me, baby. Just the two of us. They made a song about that. I want to hear these two like on Mumble singing just the two of us, by the way. That would be awesome. In my opinion. Anyway, incoming attack from Epsilon. They are not going to let up. It is going to be relentless push onto this second point, and Broder, they've got the capability to defend almost nothing. They're going to have to walk back to last. Interesting attempt at a shot. Tech forcing the Uber early, but not really doing a lot other than just kind of a little bit of damage there to the demo man. Rib's now down as well. This is looking like a successful push for Epsilon unless they start losing a lot of players really fast. Shocky and Mitzi both down, but nope, doesn't matter. It's Epsilon with a 3-1. Looking really, really solid here. How much time is left? Do they do halves in this case? Or do they do, maybe it's overtime? I don't even know. But right now, you know, there's got to be a time left. Oh, no, there it is. 6.5 minutes left to go. Now, last I heard, it was definitely like a 30-minute game. So with being 3-1, if that's still the case, then Broder is going to have to step up their game here just a little bit. They got to cap basically twice all cap in 6 minutes, and that's not an easy thing to do. These rounds have lasted a lot longer than 6 minutes, or 3 minutes really apiece. Epsilon is backing up. They've lost Mitzi, but you see them starting to play really conservative here, and that's a good idea. Like, they're just like, okay, well, I think that was, yeah, okay, sorry. Would have changed if Nox had been on the crits, but no, I think my analysis is valid. Stands. Epsilon. Oh, watching the crits. Do they have the Uber yet? No, Nox is down. That's going to be a huge deal here, as this might tie the game up very quickly. There's only 4 players left to defend, almost 3 now. Shocky very low on health, and he is dead. Mike going to start laying down some really, really solidly placed rockets, but it might just be too late. He's got to knock this soldier off of the point. He does. Oh, what a sick air shot by Mike. Can he defend this by himself? No. He is going to end up dying. Mike, a valiant effort there, but Broder suddenly bringing it 2-3, and I don't know. I think Broder might actually be able to tie this up and send us into overtime, or even win it right out, because they still got 5 minutes left now, and that's a much more comfortable time to make just 1 round in their favor. Beautiful rollout by Rib. Of course, he's going to have to deal with the same thing by Numlocked, and oh, he's really hurt right now. 6 health left down. Down he goes. Rib is already out of this fight, and that's not going to be looking too good for Broder. Now, there's going to be a lot of damage coming in from these soldiers and scouts real quick. That's a really aggressive push, but Broder losing so many players. Cookie keeping himself alive. He does take down Walters, but that is all he wrote. And Nox and Marilyn actually respawning with a difference of about 8 seconds there. It's not quite enough to really be that useful unless Nox, unless Nox starts healing right away. And in fact, he is not. He's still not healing, so if Marilyn starts healing right away, which he will, because he's got a bunch of people respawning with him, then there is going to be no problem there. The Ubers are actually even. Broder's not going to realize that, necessarily, but the Ubers are totally even right now. Broder defending their point quite effectively. But in their minds, they're going to have to be facing an Uber versus Uber situation unless something crazy happens. And you know what they're doing? They're making the crazy happen right now. They are going to go ahead and push off Uber. Not something you see every day, but in this game, it's exactly the right choice. Now you see Zebasai going down, though. And Epsilon needs to get a couple more kills here. They've taken down Tech. No soldiers left alive to take that high ground. And so Broder basically have to hold the high ground with their scouts right now. They've got to use their demo man. And looks like they can do that. Cookie eating a lot of damage there, but Marilyn's still at a good amount of health. Shocky down, so it's just Mike left alive, and Cookie's going to finish him off. That means that Broder suddenly looking really good here. Nox, though, at 91% crits. Epsilon finally using that thing they don't believe in. I'm just kidding. They're good. But here they go, taking down Bibbin right away, but the Uber is popped. So interesting. I thought this was going to be Uber versus Uber. Turns out Epsilon made the wrong decision there altogether, because their opponents actually were able to catch up in the Ubers. And Epsilon getting things tied up on them. It's 3-3 now. Epsilon, the dominators, versus Broder, the underdogs. And suddenly Broder's like, hey guys, no, we can totally do this. I don't know. We may end up seeing... Wait, did he just lay down 2 sticks? Okay, whatever. I think only one of them actually hit. What is he... Wait, are they not going to mid? What are they doing here? This is really weird. I guess maybe he just flubbed his rollout and decided he didn't want to try to get there and die. So, yeah, it makes sense. Broder are still showing up to mid, but they're going to be in just a little bit of a worse position. Maybe, yeah, Bibbin, Tech, and Cookie all down right now. That is the result of not getting your demo man there early enough. And they are going to have to retreat, probably play a really conservative game here. Marilyn down as well. Rib, you're in trouble. And that, in fact, all of Broder are in trouble. Rib somehow managed to escape there. Very nice sticky jumping right past his enemy team. So he'll stay alive and try and keep sticky bombs in certain trap positions. Probably not going to get any kills with those right away, as opponents will, of course, be looking for the sticky traps. They know there's a demo around. And the crits comes in from Epsilon once again, so they are not going to give this one up. Interesting move, but so far the crits really aren't doing a lot of damage, and they didn't use it against the heavy, which really I would like to see. They took down Marilyn, trying to get the cap, but Mike and Nox are the only ones left. Cookie chasing down Nox. He is going to make sure this medic does not get another crit screen, or he's going to try to. Oh, one! No! Nox almost gets the 2-shot there on Cookie, but it didn't happen. It's a good try. Good try. But Epsilon loses all their players. So maybe the crit's just not the right choice for Epsilon. It is really not working out for them at all. And now they're in a position where it's tied. How much time is left? 1.5 minutes. Their opponents could, if Epsilon wipes out once again, could push all the way to last and end this now. If Epsilon wipes out Broder, then they could win this right now. But if we don't see a wipeout in the next couple of seconds from one team or the other, then it's pretty much going to go to overtime. And we all love overtime here on SalTV, so overtime is good time. Where is this soldier going? It looks like Epsilon may, in fact, be attempting to wipe out here. Trying to throw a game. I don't even know. No, it's going to be Walters way behind enemy lines. So Nox trying to escape back to spawn. And it looks like he, according to our silhouettes here, will be able to do exactly that. Walters going to come in and try to get some flank damage done. He's not going to be able to stop this cap. And eats a rocket to the face. So, Broder on the point. They've popped the Uber. Nox has nothing close to an Uber right now, but Broder losing a couple players here nonetheless, and still Nox is on the crits. Looks like since it is 30 seconds left to go, that is pretty much going to be all she wrote. We are going to go to overtime, ladies and gentlemen. Epsilon's just going to try and secure their position. This is the reason they're coming out here to cap the second point. They want to make absolutely sure that whoever Broder respawns can't get to that last point and cap it. So there you go. Last point locked up. It's overtime time, and Epsilon is probably feeling the heat just a little bit here. Epsilon, I mean, Nox wants to pop his crits, probably just because there you go. There's like no time left. It's 8 seconds on the clock. Fire a rocket or two, and that's going to be the end of this round. It is 3-3. It's overtime time. All right, let's watch this famous numlock rollout as we get into overtime. Epsilon, can they do it? Can they secure their position right here in this game as the European champions? Or are we going to go to another game? Who knows? Broder getting out to mid just about the same time. Of course, that's how these things work. Epsilon, meanwhile, they're probably feeling just a little bit upset that they threw away a 3-1 lead in the very last couple minutes of the game. And so it is now going to be Epsilon losing a lot of players here. Broder looking solid. And here comes the crits out of Broder. That stick's not going to get anything. That one's not going to get anything. And there you go. So crits not really accomplishing too much, but Cookie in the backfield managed to find Nox, take down the enemy med. That's a huge deal. As what the heck? Zebaside just nailed Mike on the retreat. I don't know. He was probably just spamming rockets over there and managed to connect that one. But Nox and Mike both down. Cookie and the rest of Broder. Well, Cookie's the only one down for Broder. I think they are going to wait for him to come back up on the scout before they attack. They're also going to wait for the crits to be ready to go. Now, the thing is, their opponents know there's a crits, so let's watch how they prepare for this. It's going to be very careful. They want to keep everyone in a position where a fully charged crit sticky doesn't fly into the med's face. That's going to be the most important thing for them right now. Med not hiding in the bunker. He's actually behind the bunker, but he's got the opportunity to walk in there. Yeah, there you go. He is going to be like, okay, they've got a crits now. I am staying in this bunker. Nothing will hurt me. I'll be safe and sound. In comes the crit. Where is that going to hit, though? Looks like Miralyn's still able to get just a little bit of crit shots off. Epsilon losing everybody except Shocky, and Broder taking it. I think that's going to be golden cap, ladies and gentlemen. And I just checked, and it totally is. So Broder looking super excited about this. Like, oh my god, did we just win against Epsilon in the grand finals? Holy crap. So there were more maps, of course. I highly recommend that you check them all out, because these European teams, man, they are going to be preparing from now until August. I-49 will happen August 23rd to 26th. There is a big fundraiser going for the American teams. So please do check them out. This has been Salamancer. You've watched SalTV. I don't know why you did it, but you did.